Yes, so my name is Solange Bonello, and I am going to be 28 in a month's time. I am, as a profession, I am an early years teacher, and now I work in inclusion though. And I'm also at university. I'm studying youth and community studies, and I also run an NGO based on gender equality. Yes, I was born with a congenital disability called Nystagmus, which is basically a visual impairment which affects the constant eye movement. So if you have to look into my eye, my pupil is constantly moving, and it affects then the vision, and I wouldn't be able to focus on something that is moving. For example, if you have to throw a ball, and obviously you cannot do things like drive and so on. Yes, of course. So prior to this though, I used to run another NGO which was called Breaking Limits, and it was run by and it used to work for persons with disability, all forms of disability. So we used to cater for literally everyone and any disability whatsoever. However, I used to feel that women always get sort of the double disadvantage aspect. So I felt that it was more beneficial for me to work within that field, and it was something that interested me. So together with another 6 young women, we launched this NGO. It's called Network of Young Women Leaders, and it's basically a network that encourages women to be leaders in their own right, especially politics or entrepreneurship, whatever they feel makes them a leader. So it doesn't really have to be that you are in this, top position, but we wanted to provide this network. My personal motivation mostly was because I was always given the opportunity, by that I mean sort of I was always pushed to achieve not just average, but to excel in what I do, and this was mostly coming from my family. And so I used to feel that those women that do not have this opportunity, that are not pushed to achieve, and I used to meet quite a lot of them, especially when I was involved within the disability sector. I used to see a lot of women with disability who have so much potential, but just because they have a disability, they're sort of cornered into doing one thing in their life, and that's it. And then I happened to meet these other 6 women that have nothing to do with disability, so they all have their respective fields, and I thought it would be a really beautiful idea if we had to, create this NGO that would cater for all young women, all the spectrum, that would be interested in politics, and as I explained earlier on, in entrepreneurship. Quite a lot. Initially, when we were initially setting it up, which was just a few months ago, because the idea started around 2015, but it was launched at the beginning of this year. So to get everything ready, it was something that we did nearly every day. We don't necessarily have to meet every day, but everything, typing up things and preparing documents and so on. But I am in contact with the other members literally every day, because you have to keep, obviously, even with what's happening and news and what's not, where gender equality is concerned, you have to make sure that you are there and aware. No, there were quite a bit of difficulties, mostly because this is all voluntary work to start off with. So we all have our jobs, we all have our commitments, all of us are studying, so we have to do this over and above your time. But as difficulties, mostly when we tried to introduce the idea, some entities welcomed us, but then others sort of told us, it's just going to be another NGO that's set up, you're not really going to get any far. And we wanted to prove them wrong, and we're still trying to prove everyone wrong. So, but that was mainly the difficulty we faced, that we were sort of, because even if you don't believe it, but still when actually people tell you over and over that this isn't going to really go any far, you start questioning it yourself. But to date, we have proven them wrong, and we'll continue. I think I try to understand not just the people in power and privilege, but also the people who are actually on the ground, who are doing, as we would say, the dirty work. Because I think those are the most important people that make, you know, the whole cycle go around. And I'm referring both to the gender equality sector, to the disability sector. So I think as a strength, it's the fact that I take interest in every aspect of life. So even if I am simply on a bus and I'm speaking to the bus driver, even if I am at school and I'm on my way and there's the person picking up, you know, the rubbish, and I need to talk to that person. And that makes you, I think, understand what people go through every day, and it strengthens also your ability to work within different sectors. To believe in what they want to do. So first of all, you have to understand yourself what you want to do. So have a goal, and then to try everything to be able to get there. So it's not always going to be highs, it's going to be lows and everywhere, but to actually give it your all. I always say that sort of if you decide to work hard for something, you can achieve it, but you have to work hard for it. I mean, it's not just going to happen, and you're going to have a lot of doors slammed in your face, but you need to actually go for it and give it your all. And as I always say, especially to young women, fine, we have a disability, but that is not our life. It happens to be part of my life, but it's not my life. And it is good that people are interested in different areas other than disability, because something that bothers me is that women with disability are usually sort of invited like on programs or on whatever, and all they are asked about is their disability when they are able to do, you know, a million other things. So go on and, you know, explore and achieve. I think something that I can share is the ability to work within a team, because you have to understand that even though you may excel in what you do, for instance, you're gonna need people, you're gonna need a team, and you have to have a good team behind you to work with. So it's important to work within a team. So I think as a matter of skills, that is one of the most important things. And secondly is understanding that you can fail, that you can be wrong, that you don't know everything. Because if you go in with the attitude sort of that, you know, I know my field and everything I do is right, you're not going to get really far. Sort of your emotions and your self-awareness have to be a priority in everything that you do. So that combined with working within a team, I think you can really do well in terms of entrepreneurship, for example, and running an institution, whatever it may be, voluntary or not. Well, it goes without saying, my field is gender equality, so I'm going to answer just for the purpose of this video that definitely that is what we do. And I also think that women shouldn't just be encouraged to participate just because they are women, but they should do it because they can do it, because they are able to do it, and they have to believe that and understand that they have a right to do it as well. Because sometimes women tend to feel guilty, either because of their family or children they're leaving behind, but just like anyone else, they can do it. So give them the opportunity, and if they are not given the opportunity, I would encourage women to go ahead and take it. Well, in terms of our NGO, for instance, it's not directly mentoring, but it would fall under that umbrella. What we did was we looked at other successful women who did it before us, so our ancestors, what did they do, where did they go wrong? And we also, because our NGO is mainly on politics, we also looked at women politicians, and we asked for their experience, their opinions, you know, what did they find hard and what not. With regards to job shadowing, I would say that it is more, as I'm saying, meeting the women who did it before us and actually asking them sort of, before you got here, what were your difficulties? Because that makes you understand that, first of all, you're not the only one that's experiencing all these. And and it really encourages you to carry on. Well, something I always like to say is that everyone has, their own burden, and ours happens to be a disability. And I don't want to make it sound like it's nothing, because I, for one, know how difficult it can be, because I have a visual impairment. It obviously hinders some things in my life, and I cannot deny it. I visually get very tired, so I can understand. But then at the same time, you have a choice, either to be bitter or to be better. And so I could spend my life, pitying myself and saying, okay, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. But then I decided to focus on what I can do, and not to just do it, but to be great in it. And it's okay to want to do great things. I think a problem most women with disability face is that they think that they are only expected to achieve a certain standard, and that is fine. But no, why should you achieve average when you can do excellent? So my advice is for them to go beyond.